The hockey gods made the Dallas Stars earn this one. Tyler Seguin, the overtime hero in Game 3 as the Stars take a 2-1 series advantage.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Tyler Seguin, the overtime winner in Game 3 for the Dallas Stars as they take this one in Denver by a final score of 2-1. I got the Seguin sweater on. What a victory for the Dallas Stars. They now have a 2-1 series lead on the Colorado Avalanche. And this game had everything you wanted from the Dallas Stars on the road. They checked so many boxes that we're going to touch on. We're going to get into the lethal penalty kill. My goodness, the Dallas Stars had to earn this one tonight. The officiating was a bit funky on both sides, but the Stars just put their heads down and they went to work and got a gritty road victory to take this 2-1 series lead. My goodness, what a contest, and it was certainly worth staying up for. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Well, how about Mason Marchment setting up Tyler Seguin for the overtime winner as well? He set up Seguin on the power play goal in Game 2 to tie the game for Dallas in that one. And, of course, he's the victim of the double minor for high sticking. Well, I guess he wasn't the victim. He was a culprit, and he had to sit for 3 minutes, a little over 3 minutes, watching his squad just buck up and get a massive kill to begin overtime. And then, boom, the Stars went for the throat. And Marchment, what a play, protecting away. And I think that was Devontae's. Am I wrong on that? No, that's not against any defender. That's against Devontae shielding away, protecting the puck, and then boom, Seguin off the bench, kind of boom, into the back of the net to beat Blackwood. And the Stars take this one. Just scenes in Game 3. And it had to be Marchment to set it up, and it had to be Seguin. Just vintage stuff. Rantanen picks up the helper as well. But the Stars checked a lot of boxes. They played extremely hard along the walls. This game was a prototypical playoff style hockey game. It wasn't very free flowing. There wasn't a lot of time and space. Each line was contested. It was a heavy physical contest, especially along the walls. And Dallas was playing extremely well. They just weren't creating a ton of chances on Blackwood. I didn't think they tested Blackwood enough in the first couple of periods. They started to get more direct in the third period, and then that led to some penalties, which drew them some power plays. And of course, they finally capitalized with the Jamie Benn power play goal. Mind you, Jamie Benn had not scored a goal for 19 games, but he also only had one power play goal in the regular season. One power play goal. He usually cleans up in that department. And this was a huge time tally. It's a great play by Harley to get the shot through, and then a beautiful little deflection by Ben. And this was a contest where you felt Dallas deserved to be winning, especially off of that 4-on-4 goal from Nichushkin. And Dallas came out and played so well. And the calls certainly did not go their way, but you could say that for Colorado too. But at the end of the day, Dallas needed to get some offense. And as much as me and you were all frustrated at some of the calls / no calls in the game, you had to find a way to get some offense. And they benefited from a few calls in the third period, and then boom, they strike, and they started to go, and they started to be more direct, because about halfway through that hockey game, Colorado had the advantage in high danger chances. Dallas was dictating, controlling the play, but they really weren't testing Blackwood enough, at least for my liking. And I think the high danger chances about halfway through the contest were 9-4 in favor of Dallas, although Dallas was out chancing Colorado at 5-on-5. It was certainly a game where the Stars deserved to win. They were on top of Colorado really from puck drop, and outside of a few shifts for the Avs, this was a game dictated by Dallas and a really impeccable road game. They got fantastic goaltending. Otter came up with some timely saves. The one on Nelson was phenomenal. He was excellent. The special teams factor was crucial, right? All the ingredients you need to win games and win this style of game that the Stars had. And this was a game where Dallas maybe wasn't very creative with their offense, but they were grinding shifts. They were hemming in Colorado, grinding down their defenders, which makes them tired. And you have to give them credit because maybe that played a factor in Colorado's power play. They weren't very varnished. They weren't very sharp. The Avs made a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes, but some of that can be equated to Dallas spending a lot of time in the offensive zone, forcing a lot of their high talent players, right? The Lekkonens, the Natchises, the McKinnons to defend a lot. And maybe they were just a bit weary. I don't know. Maybe I'm just searching for an answer, but when you're having to defend more often than not, you get tired. It's a lot harder to play defense than offense. So by the time they had to have a 3-minute power play to open up the overtime period, they just didn't have anything. There was no urgency really. And you have to give a lot of credit to the PK for Dallas. They were fantastic. And Esa Lindell playing goalie in front of the crease as Lekkonen shot it off him. It was going to be a wide open net, and it was blocked by Esa Lindell. And I think that perfectly encapsulates who Esa Lindell is. Was out there for the entire PK, and he ends up making a really the save of the night for Dallas. It didn't even come from Otter, but this was such a phenomenal performance from Dallas. And as much as you heard me so frustrated towards the end of the regular season because I knew this was in the Dallas Stars. We've seen it so often before, and it was so infuriating to watch them not play to their potential. And now they're relishing in the fact that a lot of people have counted them out. And I mentioned this before going into the series. Stars feel like underdogs, and they feel like they're being counted out, and they love it. And their veterans are leading them. And there was some excellent plays from Jamie Benn. We'll get to Matt Duchene in a bit. Well, maybe we should lead to it now because we have to talk about some of the calls. The first goal for Colorado. First off, the Rantanen tripping penalty was just egregious. Why they felt the need to blow the whistle. My issue with the call was it just felt like they were looking to make a call. That felt like you're searching for a penalty rather than just calling it what it is. And Nichushkin was falling down. Rantanen ran into him. It happens, right? And then there were some soft calls both ways, by the way. Do not get me wrong. But at the end of the day, Colorado had 6 power plays, and Dallas had 3. And Colorado goes 0 for 6 on the night. And Dallas still was even in the shots department at 28 apiece. They were phenomenal. Look, I have a lot of feelings on the Nichushkin goal. Did I think it was a pick / interference? Yes, I do. But I also believe Harley needs to try to fight harder through the pick on Nelson, really force the hand of the referee. I thought Harley kind of shied away from the contact. Maybe he was expecting Duchene to be there, and that's where I get to Duchene. Duchene needs to make an effort. That was kind of pathetic. And I think Duchene would acknowledge that too, because he just put his arms up and just stopped playing and allowed Nichushkin to get a free breakaway on Otter and didn't help out his netminder. Duchene needs to make an effort, and maybe he doesn't get to Nichushkin at all, but make an effort. I think when he goes back and watches that, he's going to be a bit disgusted with himself. He just put his arms up and just let Nichushkin undress Otter, and he shouldn't have allowed that to happen. I think if Harley really fights through the pick, they maybe get the call, and also Duchene needs to make an effort, right? It was a little pathetic. I think. At least make an effort. He's too good of a player to make that mistake. And I think he knows it too. Look, I thought everybody wanted to call. I wanted to call. I thought it was a clear pick. I don't know. I just think it's safe to say this crew will not be moving on after this round, whatever this crew is. I just think both it's just weird non-calls and calls on both sides in the game. And Dallas was able to buck up enough. But I thought it was really, really solid stuff from the Stars. They really sort of pulled up their bootstraps in this one, and that was great to see, because it wasn't the high flying off the rush, multiple odd man rushes sort of attack. It was a bit bland at times, and they needed to be a bit more direct. And I thought they continued to do that as the game went along, and that's what drew their penalties. That was some of the issue in the first and second period. Dallas spent a lot of time in the offensive zone, but they weren't getting to the net. They weren't going to the net where you're going to draw calls. So in the first two periods, they didn't have really any looks on the power play. There was no penalties in the first two periods. There was the one, and Stars had 16 seconds before Rantanen took the minor penalty. So you're not going to draw calls if you're not being direct. You're not fighting to try to get to the net front. And they did better at that in the third period. Their expected goals at 5-on-5 for Dallas wasn't that high. It was lower than Colorado, 1.66. If you look at all situations, Colorado had the advantage too, 3.34 expected goals for. So that's where I get into sort of the weirdness of the game, where Dallas was in control. They were dictating, but they didn't have the most tasty opportunities against Blackwood. But boy, did they come through when it mattered the most. And that's all that matters on the road. And there was just really phenomenal nights from guys like Harley. I thought Lyubushkin was fantastic in the game. Esa Lindell, of course, on the PK. Jake Ottinger deserves his flowers in this one. He gave up the one, and then boom, he locked it down the rest of the night. Lyubushkin scored at the 8:09 mark. Otter locked it down the rest of the night, and Dallas mustered up enough offense. And man, Rantanen, oh my goodness, how many looks did he have? It's just a matter of time before he gets going, because he had so many tasty opportunities. I wonder what his scoring chances were in the game. Ended up at 10 at 5-on-5. His expected goals had to be incredible. Yeah, 2.26. This is via natural stat trick. 2.26, the highest on Dallas. He was all over the place. He needs to start finishing though. It's nice to see him get those opportunities. He's got to buckle down. He's got to bear down and bury some of those. If Dallas can get him going, it just feels like Dallas has a little more. Again, it was just a really satisfying road win. I know they were trailing a lot of the game, but they played a lot better than the score dictated for a large chunk of that game. This comes from the X. The Stars have led for less than 70 seconds total in the 3 games played. And of course, they're up 2-1. But sometimes the hockey gods make you earn it. And I think that was the case. I think after all that time, later in the season where they weren't playing well and they were winning, and they were playing terrible and losing, you're like, we're not going to let you just walk freely and just blow teams out this time of year. You're gonna have to really earn it. And Dallas was excellent. Really, really great stuff from the Stars. And now we have to touch on the penalty kill. That was just so stinking good. The Stars penalty kill was more lethal than the Avs power play. We'll do that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are almost here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking your favorite team or diving into player props, from three-pointers to steals to assists. FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. FanDuel, get in on the action now. The NBA playoffs are here. Of course, the NHL playoffs are here as well. Dive into all the options on FanDuel. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. The Stars penalty kill goes 6 for 6, and that is absolutely incredible when you consider who the Avalanche trot out there on the man advantage. And some of the Stars' success was the inability for Colorado to put a few passes together. The most dangerous opportunities they had on the night was in the dying seconds of the power play they had in overtime. And Lehkonen, that was their best look. And then they had one a bit prior. It may have been Lehkonen too, or maybe it was Duran that missed over top of the net. Those were two of actually the most grade A chances they had. But other than that, the Stars pressured pucks when they had to. Think about when it was along the walls. Think about when you saw an Av maybe fumble the puck here or there. Stars jumped on them. Also, the Avs weren't great on their entries. Dallas really invited them, and we saw this a bit in the series last season. Dallas is inviting McKinnon, Natchez, whoever is carrying the puck on the entry, inviting them to the middle of the rink, forcing them to go through 3, maybe 2 pairs of sticks, skates, whatever it is, and then deal to the flanks, and then the Stars can pressure from there. You can watch this consistently, how McKinnon will just try to weave his way through and basically just hunt for space, and there really is no space because he gets collapsed on, and then Dallas can jump on those loose pucks. So part of it is Colorado's not great with their puck management, but also they're falling for the trap, and Dallas is inviting them to these booby traps, so to speak, and they're able to get stick on puck, and then boom, the first 2.5 minutes of that overtime kill. I mean, Dallas, it's just Avs come down, they give it away, boom, cleared by Dallas. And that's just 15 seconds killed off. And then they had the Blackwell chance. I thought he was going to score shorthanded. What a setup by Granlund too. And then Beck in the third period had that decent look. I think it was the third period. Maybe it was earlier in the game, but Steele set up. Maybe it was the second period. Steele set up on Beck on the kill as well, and he almost cashed in. So just really, really strong stuff. That's hard to do. And let's look at the minutes at 4-on-5. Esa Lindell played 6 minutes and 52 seconds down a man. Cody Ceci 5:49. Steele 4:15. Steele deserves all the love in the world. He has been so darn good. Think of the 4-minute double minor early in game 1. He was able to kill. Just great sticks and passing lanes, right? Dallas is taking a lot away from Colorado. They're forcing them to shoot from outside the tops of the circles. And they've scored a couple of goals because of that. But those are the shots you have to give up, and Otter has to stop the rest. If you're going to allow a shot from outside the circles, from the point, that's Otter, right? And of course, there's going to be deflections here. But I just think the Stars are doing an excellent job keeping Colorado to the perimeter. They pounce on the Avs when maybe they don't have full possession. They're rimming it. They're able to force Colorado into negative plays. And Sam Steele, Lindell, Oskar Back, just really, really phenomenal stuff on the PK, and they deserve a ton of flowers because Dallas certainly would not have won this game without them. I mean, 6 for 6 is incredible against Colorado. They won a lot of faceoffs too. I'm shocked to see the Avs had the faceoff advantage, 53%. I felt like Dallas was winning all the key faceoffs in the games. Maybe it was a case of Dallas just won some of the crucial ones. And they certainly needed it. That's hard to do. And give Otter some credit. He ended up grading out the highest star in the game at 2.34. It was kind of a boring game in a lot of ways, and that favored Dallas. I meant to mention that in the first period, Denver was pretty quiet for Landeskog coming back, and he got an opportunity on the man advantage in the overtime period. He was kind of a non-factor. He made a couple of good plays here or there, but when we got about halfway through the game, I was like, I don't think Landeskog has made an impact at all. And he had some good passes, but he wasn't a huge factor. It just felt like no one on Colorado, maybe outside of Logan O'Connor, who I'm really enjoy watching playing. I know I'm praising an half here, but I think he's sort of like the Sam Steele of Colorado. Outside of O'Connor, Dallas really kept some of their big boys at bay in this one. And that's really, really tough to do. And it was sort of boring. It was a lot of whistles. They mentioned it on Victory Plus a lot of stoppages, which benefits Dallas. It was boring. It wasn't very loud in that building. For all the anxious, the hype of Landeskog coming back, Dallas did a great job of taking the crowd out of it to some degree, even though they were trailing for a large part of the game. And you have to give them some credit. It was a funky game. It really was. It was just it was sort of a ref show at points. But Dallas had to really buck up, and I thought that was awesome. Awesome to see. And the penalty kill was just fantastic for Dallas. And I think there's a few key things that they're doing well. They're inviting Colorado into some of those traps, like I mentioned. They're forcing them to the middle of the rink, and then they have to deal to the flanks, and then Dallas can collapse, jump on pucks that way. And they're giving up the shots you want to give up. Otter's making saves when he needs to, and that was certainly a big fact. I mean, killing off over 3 minutes in the to begin OT is a tough ask, a tough ask to do, and they just hung in there, man. They hung in there. Lindell with a save at the end. Just a satisfying road win, because it would have left you so bitter if the Dallas lost this. It just felt like a game that would have gotten away from Dallas, but nope, boom. They got a 2-1 series lead. They get a couple of days off, get a practice in, and boom, you're game 4 over the weekend. Let's keep it going. Stars need to continue this momentum. We'll close it out in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help you keep feeling fuller longer. The fact that Wonderful Pistachios is a complete protein is crazy, providing all 9 essential amino acids. They pack a protein punch. It's the grab and go ease of a healthy snack option. You're running around, dropping your kids off. You're in and out of meetings at work. You need just a quick snack to keep you full, maybe to wait till dinner time. Wonderful Pistachios is the snack for you. Get snacking, get cracking with a snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Man, it's just so awesome to see Tyler Seguin score the overtime winner too. He missed a large chunk of the season, of course, and he was a point per game player, just having a phenomenal season. And then he has to have surgery, and he worked his bag off to get back, and then he gets rewarded in a moment like that. It's just insane. And we just have to appreciate Tyler Seguin in Dallas. He's had such a phenomenal career, and we've talked about it a lot, him having to sort of change his style. He's had to change his identity, change the way he plays the game, and he's becoming more effective to some degree in his late 30s now than maybe he ever has been, right? And that's just a credit to his hard work, a credit to his maturity. And the Stars doing this without Robo and Miro is something. And now you start feeling giddy that Miro may come back. And boom, this series is yours if he comes back. You feel like this series is yours. And I know I was harping on it a lot, saying the Stars are not going to beat Colorado without him. But boy, I was wrong. Boy, I was wrong. And look, they may not win this series. It's game 3. You have to pump the brakes a bit. But Dallas has looked like the better team in pretty good chunks. It's probably been 50-50, I would say. If you combine all 3 games, that's probably been 50-50. Very even series. You get Miro back. I don't know if Robo is, but Miro, and I said this on the last episode, Miro is going to be a bigger impact on ice than Gabriel Landeskog is. And for the most part, Landeskog wasn't a huge factor in the game. And look, it's his first game in forever. You have to show him some grace. But I think Miro, at this point in his career, he's younger. He's going to have a bigger impact. And it's, Landeskog's been 3 years. This is just over 3 months now from Miro, and he's skating. You just have to feel like this series can be yours if you get him back with the way Dallas has been playing. I'm watching it again. Just what a play by Marchment. That's just awesome stuff. And two, let's not forget about Rantanen. Okay, I should have pointed this out. Let's not forget about Rantanen winning that battle with Duran. He sprung Marchment in because of Rantanen's really hard work in the defensive zone. For all of you Canes fans out there, that he's lazy, doesn't work. All you Avs fans, that was awesome from Rantanen to win that battle. He chipped it ahead, boom, ends up in the back of your net. Wow. That was such a gritty win. Such a gritty road victory for the Dallas Stars. They take a 2-1 series lead, take game 3 2-1. Tyler Seguin, the overtime winner. Benn and Seguin score. What is this? 2017. Woo-hoo. Phenomenal stuff. That was just such a thrilling victory. Such a thrilling victory. I bounced out of bed. I was up and at him in a hurry to jump on the mic. Just sick stuff all around. But some more work to be done. We'll see if they can carry that momentum into game 4, which will occur on Saturday night. So a couple of days off. Saturday night, it will be another 8:30 puck drop. Man, those are killing me. Credit to Seguin for ending this one a bit early tonight. How about it? All the goal scorers in the game, they at one point played for the Dallas Stars, which is obvious for Dallas, but of course Valnichuk can open the scoring. But just really up and down the lineup: Rantanen, Otter, Harley, Ceci, Steele, Blackwell, even on the kill. Just a full team effort, and that's Dallas Stars hockey. That's how you win. That's how you win this time of year. And my goodness, shame on me for drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak, down the stretch about the Dallas Stars. They've shown a lot here in the first 3 games of the series. It hasn't all been perfect. I get that, but to have a 2-1 series lead, you get the game out of the way in Colorado, so you kind of steal home ice advantage back. You kind of get some house money now. Let's go finish this thing. But what a fun night, and that is going to do it for your Game 3 reaction recap here on Locked On Stars. Be sure to subscribe, like, drop a comment below. Let me know how you're feeling through the first 3 games of the series. Let me know how excited you were when Seguin finally buried it in overtime. Have a great rest of your day, Stars fans. Of course, we'll be back with another episode a bit later on this week. Thank you for the love and support. I always appreciate it. And thank you. I love doing this. I really do. And I know I ride a roller coaster here, but that's what I do. Angry, happiness, tears, you get a little bit of all of it here on Locked On Stars. Sometimes it's just full emotion. But hey, that's how I like to do it. But either way, Stars fans, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow. So long.